Hi guys, it's Linda Light here, and I'm doing a quick video for you about the dream realm. So a lot's changed. In my last video, I told you that I was going to talk about some of the false constructs that have been created for in between incarnations, and when people pass on, how they're kind of rushed through the process and put in wrong bodies and all of that. There's actually a full article that I wrote back in November. It's called What is Real. I'm going to put a link down in the description box and you can check that out. It's pretty detailed about an experience where I was actually shown one of these places while they were being dismantled back in November. And the good news now is that they are dismantled. They no longer exist. So people that are crossing over now don't have to worry about being put in the wrong bodies anymore. So that's just that was really angering. It took me a little while to get through some of the stuff that I had experienced and witnessed and seen and was told and shown. So that article will be down below. It's called What is Real, and I'll share that with you through there. But what I want to talk about today is the stuff that's going on in the dream realms right now. And what needs to be conveyed is that there are groups that are working together that have not worked together in the past. There's opening positions for people on councils, on special teams, on unified all-star teams, if that's what I'll call them. And it doesn't make any one team any better than another. There's just different groups of people. Think of it as in teams as what an all-star game is, like a healthy competition, if you'll call it that. It's not a competition, so I hate to use that word, but there are groups of beings in the light world, in the light community, higher galactic realms that are, did you see that? They're getting together so that we can all get through this together, helping each other out, triggering the 144, waking up people that need to remember what their mission is and having that come to the light. So you may be awakened and still not remember who you are, and that's okay, because that's going to be changing. That will be changing. I'm not giving any dates because I want dates myself, but I can't always get them. I don't know. So forgive me, but I don't have that information. And I don't think anybody here does. And that's okay. We need to have acceptance about things like that. We don't need to know everything. There's a lot that's going on and taking place in the divine plan of things, and just accepting that everything is taken care of. Everything will be okay. Go about your normal life. Just like when you first start reading about when you're waking up and you first start reading about enlightenment and what that is, and you start to realize that you're not going to have a whole world of people sitting around like yogis or Buddhas and just, meditating all the time and chanting, and not, it's not like that. You have people that are awake, that are housewives, that are business executives, that are gas station attendants, that are servers at restaurants, that are programmers. It doesn't matter. All walks of life, you can still be awakened to an enlightened state, and it's your state that you're vibrating around your energy field. It's not anything else. So go about the whole point of this is to go about, accept that there is a plan. It is happening. We don't have to know the dates. You can still reach that level of happiness within, accepting wherever you are right now, whatever you are doing right now. It's exactly where you need to be. But it's also safe. It's safe to speak your truth. It's safe to talk about these things. I've been doing this a very long time. Okay, so I don't really like talking about myself, and even writing bios for myself or things. I hate that. But I guess just briefly, I've been at the Master Healer level since 1998. But prior to that, I was working on things, taking classes, reading books, absorbing stuff, reaching my own state, meditation, having lots and lots of mystical experiences. And going down the healing path was a path I did not want to do. But when my fourth son was born and needed something beyond, what the medical community could give him, it thrusted me onto the healer path. And so that was another trigger in my life. But anyhow, doing these things back then, when you talk about this stuff, family, friends, woo-woo stuff. It was called woo-woo stuff. And you just kind of learn when you're excited at first. You want to share it with everybody, but you just kind of learn not to say anything. And it triggers memories from past lives and experiences where you were burned at the stake for delving into Mother Earth spirituality. If you're using herbs from the earth, from a Wiccan, and you're in a Wiccan religion, or you were in Native American spirituality, and you were a heathen in other, you were killed for your beliefs, in your religious beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, and people would gossip about you. It used to be a horrible, horrible thing where people would call you a, witch, and then you were burned, or you were hung, or you were killed for your belief systems because people didn't understand what was going on. That's not going on right now. There's no longer going on. Your hearts are opening, people are awakening, and the gossip that used to get you killed in past lives, or even in this life, talking about stuff in this life, it's safe to talk about it now. We have communities. There's people waking up and they want to know what you know. That's why I was being pushed and guided to even start this channel, was to get my information out there, because I have a lot of information to share, and there is a lot of confusion that's going on out there. There's a lot of confusion in the spiritual communities because there has been disinformation. There has been a big campaign by the dark forces to confuse us, because remember, divided we fall, and united we stand, and all of that, yada yada. But it's true. And the confusion that they tried to create, they would give dates and things like that where nobody knew when the event was going to take place. When is that white light going to come? When is that event going to take place that's going to rewrite and open us up? And if you haven't had your kundalini hit your pineal gland yet, the energy, if you haven't had that happen yet yourself, you're probably really impatient. Like, when's this going to happen? When are my gifts going to just come online? And there are ways to tap into your gifts without having an event trigger it for you. But there usually is something that clicks in your mind where you start to learn how to develop you start to realize that you're clairsentient, that you can sense things. You start to get signals in your body. You start to get from your biofeedback machine starts signaling you when you're speaking truth. You get the chills when you're talking about things. They had a little hair stand up, or you'll get a warm sensation or a tingly sensation. Start to notice what your body is telling you. It's literally speaking and communicating to you. So don't be waiting for some outside event to happen before you start to tap into your own gifts and your own abilities. And you can start to interpret and decode the light, the information that comes through the light. But don't be impatient about it. Don't be impatient reaching for something that hasn't come yet. That solar flash is going to happen. There is going to be a triggering event. And I've heard a lot of people getting the feeling it was going to be in March, and well, March is the spring equinox. So yeah, there's going to be an alignment in March. Whether or not it's the solar flash, the one that's the event that we're waiting for, well, I know that things have sped up, and the feedback that I've gotten is it's gone along much faster than they anticipated. So before like 2025 or whatever those dates were, you know what? Nobody has dates, and there might be a window of opportunity, and things might have been a little further behind than where we could have been, but we changed that. We are shining our lights brighter. We are helping you. It's almost like the all-star team down on earth decided, like, okay, enough is enough, and took matters into their own hands and said, that's it. We're going to share our gifts. We're going to get uncomfortable. We're not going to go along the path that we have before. And it's almost like a whole group of them at the same time decided, that's it. We're doing everything that we can do now. No holding back. And like when that happened, things exponentially just lit up. And it might not be from any one of those individuals per se, but the sum total of all of them together, even lighting one light, all of them together, the one light that they lit might have affected masses beyond what they could have expected, and it just rolled out so much faster. So yeah, maybe in spring we could have that solar flash, maybe, but who knows. One thing we need to practice more than anything else, if we haven't stepped fully into our own gifts and sharing what we know, then forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness. I get this card a lot during readings lately, and it's reminding you to be the let your inner child come out. Let your inner child lead the way. Let your inner child play. If you're in the supermarket and you hear a song come on and you just feel like dancing, don't hold back. Go ahead, do a little dance. If you are driving home and you just decide you want to take the long way because you want to go past an area that has a pond or a lake or a reservoir, and you just want to see the water, and maybe you want to pull over and get out and walk near it, or whatever the case is, let your inner child out to play. If you have an opportunity and you're near a playground, get on a swing or hop on the merry-go-round and just take a little swing. I know it sounds silly, but when you let your inner child out to play, it could just be turning up the music and dancing in your home when nobody's looking, or singing in the shower. It doesn't matter. Let that inner child out, because you'll find that you will be able to experience forgiveness of yourself easier, and then therefore forgiveness of others. Because if there is a group of us that's still holding on to something that we're not letting go completely, because there's people in our lives that we haven't forgiven. Oh, there's no way we can forgive so-and-so, or I'll never forgive that. And think of the times that you've said that, and think of it like the onion layer. And maybe you've gotten past that, because I can tell you there's things in my life, things that happened to my children that I thought I would never forgive. And eventually, some of the onion got peeled off and down to the layer. I finally got down to the core, and I believe that I've fully forgiven. Anyhow, there's experiences that everybody has in their life where they think they cannot forgive. Or you got the other group of people that say, I've forgiven everybody. I've let all that go. Okay. Have you forgiven yourself for everything too? Have you truly taken that mirror and turned it around and looked at yourself and forgiven yourself for everything? Everything that you need to. Forgiveness of self and others is a huge step, because before you can be of service, of true service to others, where you're not self-serving, truly being of service to others means you really do need to forgive yourself. And you're not going out and servicing others thinking, well, if I do enough service, that's my penance, or penance, yeah. So you don't forgive yourself by serving others. You actually forgive. That's sort of like going at it with the guilt way. That means you got guilt going on. So in order to get that up and truly heal that, you have to forgive yourself. Then when you're practicing service to others, it becomes not something that you're doing out of guilt. You're not doing it out of like an obligation, but you're doing it from a pure desire of love to help people. And that's when it becomes joyful to do it. And it's not like a punishment, if that's the way to put it. So those of you that are doing service out there to avoid self-forgiveness, just take what you need of energy and light and love for yourself and just feel it completely. Feel it in your heart. Feel the forgiveness and just let it go. Let it go. It's okay. You're safe. And it's safe to be here. It's okay. Accept yourself right where you are. Exactly where you are right now. You are safe. And wear something red. Oh, sounds silly, right? Find something red to wear if this is what you're working on. Red will have you thinking about your root chakra and knowing that you are secure, you are safe, and you are exactly where you need to be. And you are loved. And you are appreciated very much. So in the next video, I'll probably talk about, whatever I'm guided to. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, but it doesn't always go that way. So I just share what I'm supposed to share. If you want to read more about my blog, again, I'll put in the description box the article I was talking about that I wrote in November about the false constructs when people cross over. And I get to visit those places in my dreams. I get to visit them. Listen to me. I was more like trapped there for a couple of weeks in a one-night dream. So that was crazy. But I do get to visit other wonderful and beautiful places in the dream realm in that reality. And I feel blessed that I'm able to recall those dreams and those experiences. But I'll leave that link down there. And there's also other things that I write about in my blog. And I think you'll find some of the articles pretty interesting. So if you want to know more, and you want to know more about my Teach Peace Designs website, I'll just tell you real quick, it started 15 years ago in March. It was March 27th, 2004. Yeah, March 27th, 2004. I started a Cafe Press print-on-demand store, and I was spreading the message of Teach Peace, and it was post 9/11, and it was in direct opposition to the Support Our Troops, not because I didn't support our troops, but because it was so obvious to me that there were no weapons of mass destruction, and I had long story. I did not want to see our young men and women getting killed in a war that was under false pretenses. We'll say that. And I supported all of our troops coming home. I support our troops, and I thank you for your service. I thank you for all you do. But at that time, I wanted to create a message of supporting world peace. So I created a blue ribbon and put support world peace on it. And I wanted to spread the message of teaching peace for future generations. And it's been 15 years since I started that in March. So back in the fall of this year, I created Teach Peace Designs because the web domain for Teach Peace was already taken anyway. And I linked it up and I put some new designs in there, and it was to help me heal through my son and everything. But I also had another blog that I had been writing in since 2012. I think I had one article, and then I might have had one more since then, and then I started blogging in like the end of 2017, and then all through last year I was writing. And then when I started this new website, I started a second blog because I was getting some marketing information, advice, I guess, about putting everything in this new one. So I'm in the process now of weaving everything together. And I really didn't think I was going to be starting a YouTube channel on top of this, but it seems like I have all these pieces and I'm just bringing them all together for it's actually kind of beautiful how this design's coming together. But my mission, if you type in, I think it's rememberworldpeace.com, it'll take you to my original Cafe Press store, which just got a facelift, so I'm still working on that one. And then Teach Peace Designs takes you to the new store, but I've taken down the products on there, and the new blog is on there. So anyway, it's still all over the place. Whichever one you go to, it doesn't matter. The idea about all that is it's my work that's in progress, and I always wanted to just write and design, and I'm designing sacred geometry with all kinds of energy gifts kind of sewn into the sacred geometry, and those will be coming out in my new line in the spring. So that's pretty cool. But I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you so much for supporting me, for subscribing, for sharing my videos. I appreciate it as I get more comfortable talking to you in this venue type of platform. And I just wanted to thank you and wish you the best. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Talk to you very soon. And I hope you all have wonderful dreams. Namaste.